shall start with the second chapter of mathematics, inverse trigonometric functions. Now, we have not done chapter 1, but in chapter 1 there is a condition. If we want to find the inverse function, we should have function 1, 1 and onto. 1, 1 and onto means 1, 1 means each element in set A. Suppose this is my set A and this is my set B. Okay? Suppose this is my set A and B. So suppose this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is A, this is B, this is C. So 1, 1 means all these elements from set A should have image in B. Then we call it as a 1, 1 onto. And 1, 1. And onto means each image will have some association in set A. Okay, from here to here, from this side to this side, this side to this side. Then you call it as a onto function. Okay, 1, 1 means all these elements in the first set should have image in the second set. And onto means all these image which is in set B should have association with in set A. Then you call it as a 1, 1 and onto. So it is both the sides, it is mutual. So if it is like that, so in function f is from A to B. If it is 1, 1 and onto, then I can define inverse function from B to A. Okay? Since it is 1, 1 and 2, this will become my domain, and this will become my domain, and this will become my range, this set. Okay? So if it is 1, 1 and onto means, then only I can find the inverse function. Okay? So the condition to have inverse function, I need the function to be 1, 1 and onto. Now, actually, we are talking about trigonometric function. Now, trigonometric function is actually not 1, 1 and onto everywhere. Okay, see, we know that let's draw the function of sine. Okay, so let's see sine or cos. Let us see cos. So cos 1 is cos 0 is 1. This is range of cos and sine. Cos and sine is the same. So when cos 0, then sine it is cos 0. Then it is 1. So it starts from here like this, and so on. And this also like this, negative side also. Okay. So this is 0, that is pi by 2, and here the maximum which is pi, and so on. Okay. And this is my 0 point. Now what happens? This is going on repeating, right? So it is not 1 by 1 2. For all these values, see this is for pi and for this. Or when you go ahead, it will come here 3 pi by 2, and it will come 2 pi. 2 pi is like this. So what we have found as for 0 it is 1, for 2 pi it is 1. That means there are infinitely many numbers for which this function will not become 1, 1 and onto. So what we have to do? We have to find some interval. So I take the interval from here, these to here. Okay, from here to here, from here to here, this interval. If I divide from 0 to pi, okay, from 0 to pi if I divide, then it will be have one value will have only one association. So therefore, the sine, cos, tan, all these functions actually they are not 1, 1 and onto. So what we are going to do is we divide them into some interval where it is always 1, 1 and onto. So that branch, that interval we call it as a principal value branch. So we have divided all these inverse functions. Domain has nothing, no problem, but the problem is with the range, and the range is defined where it is always 1, 1 and onto. Where it is always 1, 1 and onto. So for sine, we write the range as minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, and this is the what was the range in the trigonometry will become domain here. Okay. So and we used to write sine x, cos x, right? But for inverse, we are going to put here minus 1 power. Not power, but minus 1. So this we say as a sine inverse x, cos inverse x, cosec inverse x, sec inverse, tan inverse, cot inverse. So this is the notation we use for inverse trigonometry. If it is not inverse, this sign will not be there. Okay, so this is 1, or you just put 1 like this. So the range which was in the sine, cos, tan will become now domain, and the range will be principal value branches. Why principal value branches? Because these trigonometric functions are not 1, 1 and onto in whole of the range. Therefore, we are selecting particular range. So for sine inverse minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, you see sine inverse, cosec inverse and tan inverse, more or less the same. So you can remember it. Okay, it's minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Here no 0. Why no 0? Because at 0 it is not defined. And here you know that at 10 is undefined at pi by 2 and minus pi by 2. At 90 it is undefined. So it is open interval. Okay, this is open interval. And for cos, sec and cot, see it is the same. What you have to remember is the range. Okay, the principal branch value range. This is more important to remember. So you can see this one and this one. More or less the same. This is 0 to pi minus pi by 2y, because it is not defined as this. And here it is not including the n points 0 and pi, but all other points in between. Okay, so remember, please learn by heart all this principal value branch is needed for your calculation. Okay, so just note down. Okay, then we have got properties. Many properties are there. Today we will discuss only the 3 properties. Sin inverse 1 by x is equal to cos inverse x. The conversion of sin inverse to cosec inverse, cos inverse to sec inverse, and tan inverse to cot inverse. See what is the difference is only this angle. This is called angle. This 1 by x is the angle. It becomes reciprocal of this. Okay, see, if it is 1 by x, if it is x, it is 1 by x. From here to here also is the same. Okay, suppose here it is sin inverse. You are given sin inverse, let's say maybe 3, and you are told to convert into cosec inverse. So you will convert into cosec inverse like this, cos inverse 1 by 3. Okay, instead of 3, suppose it is 5 by 7. So how will you convert here? The denominator will go up and the numerator will come down. So this is the conversion. Okay, for all these. Okay, when you have done in the trigonometry, it is little different. In that this becomes inverse. Okay, so now let's prove. We are going to prove what? All other are the same. So cosec inverse s. Consider this as y. Okay, take this as y. Now this I have not already told you. When it is, you take like cosec inverse, when you transfer here, it will be without the inverse sign. It will become trigonometric function. So cos inverse, if I transfer here, it will return as a cos x, cosec y. Okay. So if it is sin inverse x is equal to any other, let's say y. So if I want to convert into trigonometry, only trigonometry, not inverse, then I will just transfer it this side and I will not write the inverse sign. Okay, so this, it is for all the trigonometric functions. So here I am just transferring cos inverse to here, and there will be no this inverse sign. Now you take the reciprocal of x is 1 by x, and cosec y is 1 by cosec y. 1 by cosec y is sin y. Okay, this is only trigonometry. So sin y. So now again the sin y you bring here. Only the sin you bring this side. Okay, this sign is you bring here, it becomes sin inverse. Okay, it's the property. So sin inverse 1 by x is equal to y. Y is equal to, you have assumed as cosec inverse x. Place the value cosec inverse x. Similarly, the other two are done. Number 2, sin inverse minus x, then this minus will jump out. Minus sin inverse x. Okay, for tan inverse minus x, this minus will come out, minus tan inverse of x. Cosec inverse minus x, this minus will come out, minus cosec inverse x. All three have got same property, that's why written together. Okay, so now we will prove the first one. So sin inverse minus x equal to y. You assume this value as a y. As I said, transfer the sin inverse here, it becomes trigonometry sin y. Take this minus here, minus you can transfer any side. You take minus here, then sin is an odd function. So this minus you can take inside. Okay, we have studied last year odd and even function. You know cos is always even function. So this minus we can just write as a cos x. But if it is a sin, then sin minus x will be written as a minus sin s. Okay, and vice versa. Okay, so this minus you can take. Why? Because sin is odd function. Okay, so sin inverse. Then again this sign you transfer here back here, becomes sin inverse. Now sin inverse minus y, put the value of y back. You assume y as a sin inverse minus x. Place here. This negative you bring here. Okay, this negative you can transfer here. So minus sin inverse x equal to sin inverse minus x. Start from here because your proof is from this side. Okay, proof is from this side. So start from here, that is sin inverse minus x is equal to sin inverse minus sin inverse x. So the negative will jump out. For remember, for sin inverse, tan inverse, cosec inverse, this negative will just come out. Third property. Now we did for sin, tan, cos. Now we will do cosec. Now we will do for cos inverse, sec inverse, cot inverse. For that it is minus. Then what happens? Not only coming out. You have to write this as a pi minus cos inverse x. No more minus here and pi. For here pi minus sec inverse x. Pi minus cot inverse x. We'll prove the first one. Cos inverse minus x is equal to y. Transfer cos inverse here becomes cos. Take this minus here. Now here cos is negative. Okay, when cos is negative, you remember this quadrant. This is 0, this is pi by 2, this is pi, and this is 3 pi by 2 or minus pi by 2. So cos is negative, cos remains the same. So cos is negative here. In this quadrant, cos is negative. Okay, cos is negative here and here also, but we will take this part. Okay, so when you take here, you can say, when the angle is here, you can say pi minus, whatever is angle. So you can, if I want to write here, if I want to take here, this cos is negative. So if this is negative here, that means the angle here, the angle will be pi minus y. Okay, the angle will this. If I want to cancel this sign, that means it will be pi minus y form. Okay, so the sign goes, but it becomes cos pi minus y. Okay, transfer cos here as inverse, cos inverse as pi minus y. Put the value of y there, cos inverse minus x. Okay, then this you transfer here and this you transfer here. Just interchange these two. Okay, so minus cos inverse minus x comes here, becomes plus, and this cos inverse x, which is plus, transfer here becomes minus, and that is your proof. Thank you very much.